Morning, everybody. Uneducated economist here. Things are getting really scary out there. And I have a lot of people who say that I'm fear mongering. I'm not trying to fear monger. I'm not trying to scare you into trying to sell you something. I have no intentions on providing you with anything to buy. I mean, if you want to buy something from me, I'll leave a link down in the description. You can go down there and buy an Uneducated Economist hoodie. That's the only thing I have to sell. Whether you go out there and buy gold or silver or property or cars or whatever, that's your business, not mine. I'm just trying to tell you what I see out there, and I'm trying to provide you with the best information that I can come up with. Now, my faithful followers who have been with me for a long time know that I have come out of debt. I was severely in debt when I started this channel. I was close to $20,000 in debt. And I have done everything I can to pay off all my credit cards, to pay off my medical bills, to pay off everything that I've owed to everybody. And now I'm sitting at zero. I have a little bit of cash savings. Over the time of my, probably since 2009, I would say, just after the financial crisis, the great financial crisis, when I lost my house, everything went into foreclosure, I lost everything I had. I tried to stay in that house for 7 years. I made 7 years worth of payments and then I was done. That was it. I was completely exhausted of everything. So now when I'm out here trying to put these videos out here, I'm not fear mongering. I'm trying to tell you guys the truth. When I read these articles about how their rent in New York City, that the renters, like 40% of them are not going to be able to make their rent payment. 40%. That's huge, guys. That's like going to wipe out the whole rental game. Airbnb, same thing. These people have leveraged themselves out to the hilt. 20, 30 houses that they have borrowed money on to rent out as Airbnb, and now nobody's traveling. Those guys are in bad shape. It seems like a really good idea at the time to take out a loan, to buy that new car, to buy the new house. Everybody's doing it. It never seems like it's going to end when the money's rolling. But then when it turns, it's devastating. One of the things that I follow is lumber. I look at lumber because lumber is a major indicator of where we are in the new construction market. And right now, lumber is crashing. It's at 262, I think it was when I read it this morning, it was 262 per thousand. $262 per thousand. That's for every 1,000 board feet of 2x4. It's selling for $262. A couple of years ago, it was 650. When people were building all over the place, when you could say, I could not see any more construction than I can right now. Everywhere I look, there's construction sites everywhere. Lumber was selling for the most that it's ever sold for. And when it started dropping, I said, there's an issue taking place right here. And the only thing I heard was people saying, all I see is new construction everywhere I look. You're crazy. The housing market's not crashing. And I said, it's going to. Now, I didn't foresee this coronavirus coming, but that's what hit. And now we got construction slowing down everywhere. Over in the state of Washington, it is illegal for those guys. Well, I don't know about illegal. I mean, I still wonder about the legalities of this, shelter-in-place stuff. But they are not to be at the job site unless it is an absolute necessity to preserve the job site itself, to keep it from damaging any further. But construction is supposed to have ended over in Washington. Here in Oregon, it's probably not too far away. Everybody's job is in jeopardy right now. Everybody's. Even including mine. So I'm not fear-mongering. I'm trying to tell you guys the situation is bad. And if you want to bury your head in the sand and say that there's nothing going on here and that, if everybody would just be cool, everything would be fine, you're wrong. Everything is not fine. It's far from it. I got out of debt because I could see something was coming down. You cannot possibly have this much credit expansion without a contraction at some point. It's just the way the cycles work. if housing was to keep going up at the pace that it was, eventually it'd just become unobtainable. You would not be able to buy a house. It would be worth millions of dollars, every one of them. So at some point, it has to come down. If nothing else, it has to level off for a long time so that everybody else can catch up. You know, I keep reading how they're just going to keep pumping more and more and more money into this. And it's not money, it's debt. There is no money. Money doesn't exist. All money is based off of credit and credit worthiness. You know, Alan Greenspan said it best. We can promise to make the payment. The United States will never, ever default on its loan. Ever, because they can always print the money to do it. What they cannot guarantee is the purchasing power of that money. I know I have a bit of an attitude this morning, but it just irritates me immensely to have people tell me that I'm a fearmonger. That's not what I'm doing here. Go back and look at my original video. I knew this day was coming. That day that I made that video, I could barely afford toilet paper. Now people are begging for toilet paper out there. They're hoarding it up. Times have changed. They change all the time. It's cycles. It takes place. You know, whether you go off and buy silver or not is not my business. You know, if you're into cryptocurrencies, that's awesome. It's not my business. That's not what I'm into. What I'm into is to tell you what that situation is like. What I do to try and preserve my dinner plates. To try and, you know, provide for my family. You know, I don't have any links for you guys this morning. I just wanted to come out here and tell you guys that I'm here for you. I'm here for you to provide you guys with information. If you like being here, awesome. I appreciate everybody who comes to my channel, who gives the comments, who disagrees with me. But I don't want to be called a fearmonger. That's not what I'm up to. We are in scary times. Don't bury your head in the sand. Face that fear. Look it straight in the eye and tell it. I understand what's happening here. You know, I'm not scared because, you know, fear really comes from the unknown. And the more you know, the less you fear it. You know, I would like to say that I'm not angry. I'm frustrated. Because, you know, when you're angry for two reasons. You're either hurt or you're scared. And I'm neither. But I am frustrated. I'm frustrated with the situation. I'm frustrated watching people try and tell me that, you know, it's going to return and everything's going to be back to normal here in a couple of months. No, it's not. The damage that is being done right now is going to take a long time to repair. You know, when I lost everything, it happened over the course of a couple of years. It took almost a decade for me to return from that. Just to get back to breaking even. To a point where I could say, hey, I got a savings again. Where I'm not dumping all my money into paying off my debts. All right, guys, I'm going to go into work. Uneducated economist. You guys let me know.